At the ball game, I saw him the other day. Did you see him at the ball game? I saw him at the basketball game.
Yeah, I didn't see him up there. I probably just missed him somewhere.
Yes.
Was it schooled up over there?
Not bad.
Sycamore City Council meeting. Here's your agenda for the night.
There's still some silt fences up that's blocking some of
The ARPA budget you see there, item number 9, that is the federal COVID relief budget.
Well, your wife's
That's
jeans
money.
aren't strong at all, are they?
Every city in the county and state in the nation got that. Department heads, pay bills, adjourned. There you go. CDBG number 8 is a community development block grant.
Yeah.
That is infrastructure projects like sewer and drainage. It has to be done in moderate to low income communities. Not too many years ago, Sycamore replaced the entire water system lines within the city, all of them, with 2 CDBGs.
Maybe driving.
Chief Ryder probably will not be here.
What?
He's recovering from strep throat.
Yeah. Ooh, I told him not to be here.
You told him not to be here?
Yep.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'd really rather not share some things.
Some things I don't need. Police cooties, one of them.
Yeah, you're gonna hear about.
My brain is so.
Okay.
Gotta stop smoking crack.
I need to make sure my house hadn't burned down.
Why would it burn down?
My stove top. Cause I'm cooking soon.
Oh, he just texted, I'm at home calling.
What kind of soup you cooking? You had to leave it running.
Sausage and potato.
I'm sitting here calling.
Very boy got something in the warehouse.
This is a mild Italian sausage.
I can get it from the place.
They got coffee in the warehouse.
We got some down there too, but I'm not ready to use them.
I'm not saying anything, I'm just sitting here.
Yeah, you probably would.
Don't tempt me too far.
I had to step back. It was curdling the air.
I'm putting up past what you think.
I put the lid back on that thing, I toted it outside. I had to kill some ants.
Now, I've made this,
4 minutes.
I've made this several times and it's,
Like the doctor told me, I need to go ahead and get in shape. That's why I don't need to get in shape. 3 on each side of the box is where I need to be in shape.
a combination of the potato mix, the potatoes and the red potatoes.
Yeah, I'm in shape.
Like
Round
those.
is a shape.
You doggone skipping.
I heard that. You're right.
Yeah, but it's not as good in this because you need all the good starches to come out, like from the freshness.
You know, Ben, years ago, I
Fresh
was
thyme, fresh
in my
rosemary.
secular job,
Tied
I
up
was a
with
shift
eggs,
foreman
shove it in
at
there,
a baking soda plant.
And then let it.
And on second and
stew
third
in all
shift,
its lovely- oh,
which
and
we
the whole-
rotated,
the whole-
on second and third shift, everybody got a turn packing the
But if
baking
you
soda
get it, that's sweet onion.
into super sacks, you know, like to put pecans in, and 50-pound and 100-pound bags. Back
The
then,
recipe that called for it.
we, each of us would do 10 or better,
Look,
at least
recipes
10
are just like
pallets.
No, but
Street sign.
I've already
So-
adjusted the recipe
And
to
that
my
meant you
liking.
pull the bag off
So-
the
I made
sheet, 2
some
sheets,
It's like
potato
it calls
cheese soup at
for,
pull
home.
each
it
bag
calls
off,
for a whole onion.
throw it on
But
the
because I don't
pallet.
like the texture
And I
of
was
onion
throwing
so much,
10
I
pallets worth
pulverize
of
it.
100-pound bags
Yeah.
at 25 to a pallet.
and then,
So
but then I
25,000
add a lot
pounds
of
in a
red pepper in
shift.
it as well.
No big
I
deal.
like for it to have a
Yeah.
good.
Today, if I had to
spicy
pick up
pepper.
one of those, I'd have to call in 2 guys to help.
I want a little bit of potato soup in my life. Love making.
I had to call it 2 guys in
yeah.
the pork wheel to help.
When I was in high school, we
But I
made
like the
cabbage,
earthiness of a nice
60-pound,
Peruvian
65-pound
purple
bags. and I'd catch them off the
Yeah,
conveyor belt in the
The
semi,
parking things are free.
and stack them to the ceiling, I'd do two when I got home from school.
It does, but it's got
Yeah,
a lot
now
They
more.
almost certainly grow
Never.
fairly
Well, when I
high
was-
altitude.
When I was a teenager, I worked on an ice truck.
But
Ugh.
In the
they
summer,
got a more,
I'd work on an ice truck
I've never
delivering,
had a Peruvian
ice,
cat.
25 and 50 pound blocks.
I do not.
I've still got my tongs.
I was 50 years old before I knew there was such thing as yellow watermelon.
I wouldn't even
so
consider
you can
trying it
get
now.
at Publix,
I don't
well,
even-
Walmart too, I guess,
About
you can
Three
get
hundred
the
pound
potato
blocks
medley,
in
but
the ice house in
Publix
Maydale,
has,
ice down the
has the
greens, we
medleys,
ship
just in
out.
little 1.5 pound bags. Of
No.
the little biggest,
I got neighbors that.
The bad news is it takes me all day to do what I
The
used to do
purple
all
potatoes?
day.
No, the meddling, they got a meddling neighbor.
Hey, Ben, do you
Oh,
know somebody
Lord.
that's selling firewood around here?
Firewood?
Meddling.
no, I think I'm the meddling
I'm in
neighbor,
need.
actually.
I'm
I'm the Karen on the block.
You need to stop.
Who'd work put a quarter in your jukebox?
Yes, and now I can't remember who's doing it.
I'm the
keep-
one, I'm the
Yes, I
one.
know someone, but I can't remember now who's doing it.
Bring on
I
these
somebody
sides.
there
remember-
probably 90 going in.
I'm the one who calls Scott
Yeah.
Bowers and says,
Yeah.
hey, Scott, I just wanna make you aware.
Highway 90 towards Cordele.
Yeah.
This-
What's the name up there?
I
That the
don't know
neighbor
name,
has a
but I just
mattress in
remember
the back
going
of
by
his
a place
van.
now, we was talking about it, if you go
Well,
to Cordele on Highway 90.
It's got
Oh,
tinted windows.
Lord.
They
They
go
go
real
real
good.
No
Way
windows.
all right down the
I
number.
said, I don't think no windows and a mattress goes well together.
Place, Calhoun.
In a
Not
van?
with my neighbor.
If you got a chainsaw, I can get you all you want for free.
Oh,
Me and
Lord.
chainsaws get along about like oil and water. Not.
Man, she.
Well, they're on the lease,
I
and you
said,
hire
I am the
them.
Karen.
Their lease.
I am
You
fine
don't got a
about
bunch
it.
of trees knocked over,
I
that
do.
burn.
Why?
Calls.
Alright, let's call this meeting to order. I wanna apologize to each and every one of you for holding this at 7 instead of 6. I wanted to be here for the discussion and I was tied up on the after-school bus. And so accept my apologies. I hate that had to be that way, but it did tonight. Now, Fred, if you'll lead us in a word of prayer real quick.
Lord, we again thank you for the opportunity and the privilege to serve our community by acting as the legislative body. We ask that you would guide us to our hearts and our minds, and that our words and our actions might be honorable to the city and suitable to you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, item 3, discuss and vote to approve the agenda.
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor? Unanimous. Go ahead.
On minutes, item number 5, motion made by Councilman Fred Ice to approve offsetting the taxes for this year's Christmas bonuses, so forth, so on. There's no record of the vote.
It was unanimous, I do recall.
Do you have any idea who, seconded it?
We can go back and listen to it.
Okay. Other than that, move to approve the minutes of the regular session and the called meeting as stated.
Second.
All in favor? So, I'm writing me a note here. So I can call this to their attention tomorrow. All right. Item 4, discuss and vote to approve minutes. That's what you just done.
Yes.
Okay, I'm
Sure
sorry.
did.
You're a little bit.
And Jennifer's talking about herself down there.
It's deja vu all over again.
Oh, boy, old age is catching up on me. All right, item 5, discuss and vote on health insurance. It's a good thing that we have Courtney here and he can enlighten us. You got the floor, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Council members, Mr. Mayor, I appreciate y'all's time. I just wanted to, come tonight and, one, put a face with a name, you know, so y'all know who's actually taking care of you, but Courtney Howell, I'm in Tifton, I work at Partners Benefit Group, we're a big agency, down on Carpenter Road, so not too far from me, local agency. When, Wayne decided to go with us last year, that was one of the things he wanted to do, and you guys voted on that, do business with someone a little closer to home. So again, that's my main reason. I've got, being here, I have a proposal in front of you guys. It is incomplete though, because we had to go back and fix some things with the underwriting, and they have not got those numbers back to me yet, but I will have them tomorrow. But I thought it best to show you guys what we do have as of right now. But I will have those, and I'll get those to Bethany, to the mayor, tomorrow, so, you can make a enlightened decision, okay? On what you're holding there, like front's just our little fancy, introduction page. The second page is who we went to market with. As you can see, you guys are with a company, well, they're actually, administered by 90 Degrees, but they do business as is DIYBS, but you guys, who you guys are currently with. We also went to Angle Health, and we went to Blue Cross, which is Anthem Blue Cross. We went to Aetna, we went to Allstate, and we went to United Healthcare. So we always try to get a good view of the market for you guys. I still think that DIYBS is going to be the most competitive because we got it down so low last year. But we have the reason we have got to get these numbers later is because we have some new hires coming on the plan as of 1/1, or excuse me, as of 2/1. And in insurance, if anybody that's coming on a plan within 30 days of the effective date, you gotta disclose that to the carrier, okay? New hires that are hired, 90 days in the middle of the year, they don't ask for underwriting them, but at renewal time, if you have someone coming on a plan within 30 days of the effective date, you're supposed to disclose that medical information to them. So we, some companies met their 90 days, I believe, in December, so they could come on. So we just had to send that back to them and make sure, because the last thing we want to do is do the enrollment, put those people on the plan, send it in, and have that census, and then we'll go, hey, who are these two new people? And then say, hey, we need some underwriting on them, and then come back and after we've done the stuff, and we've told everybody what the cost is gonna be, and then change the price on them. So we always wanna do that up front with them, all right? So that's why we want to make sure that we just wait till tomorrow to get those numbers. So I will have you what our current carrier numbers are tomorrow, okay? As you can see there though, Aetna, they declined to release a quote, so did Allstate, and so did, United Healthcare, and that's what that second sheet is, okay? It's kind of a market, outlay. We did include the Angle numbers, because we have those, those are hard numbers, and then we have the, Anthem numbers there for you, okay? So, moving on to that third page, far left column under the DIYBS, logo there, that's y'all's current plan, okay? What you have today, $1,500 deductible, 20% cover insurance, you just go straight down that. This is kind of the, cliff notes of the benefits. And then right down there below, you'll see it says 50% surplus. That's the surplus you guys, the city's gonna get back if we have some, because right now we do have some. And then there's your current rates, okay? You can see right beside that, they're blank, right? That's where our renewal rates are gonna go. So tomorrow when I get those, I'll plug those numbers in, the spreadsheet will figure it, and I'll be able to shoot it over to Bethany or straight to you, Mayor. So we'll have that, what our actual increase is gonna be for our current and renewal, all right? So, but I wanted to include what we do have in-house, and that is Angle, and then that is, Blue Cross Blue Shield, what they released to us, all right? So on Angle, I did just two plans. They don't have a $1,500 deductible, so I just tried to get as close as I could. That column right next to the DIYBS column, the first one there, it says Cigna PPO traditional 2,000. It's a $2,000 deductible. It's 80% co-insurance. Your maximum out of pocket is $4,000. So it's generally close to what you guys have now, okay? But as you can see, and I'm not gonna run all the benefits, y'all can see those there. But you can see that that plan is $883 an employee, all right? So that, if you look down just a little further, that 883 is comparing to the current 609. So if you do that, it's a 44% increase, all right? So I don't think we wanna do that if we can get the renewal numbers from the IBS and have some better ones. I don't think we're gonna get that big, I just don't know, okay? But that's worst case scenario, and then what I did to the second, I just put another option out there. If we went, instead of a $2,000 deductible, we did a $3,000 deductible, and it was 80% co-insurance, your maximum out of pocket's $5,000. But all these are traditional copay plans. It saves you a little money by going there. It's $847 an employee, and then that's 38.91% higher than what we were, okay, or what we currently have, I should say. All right. And then I just included the Blue Cross because they did release a quote to us. And as you can see, they have $1,000 and $2,000. When I look through all their plans, that's about, if we went with them, which I'm go with them if you want to, I wouldn't suggest that, but, those are the two plans I thought were closest, to what we have now. So one of them's 1,000, one of them's 2,000, okay? Basically the same plan, except the deductible, but you can see there, $1,581 for an employee for the $1,000 deductible. It's 159% increase over the, and then the $2,000 deductible, you see it's a little more expensive than the 1,000. That's because it's a $2,000 deductible with 100% co-insurance. So if you meet that 2,000, you're not paying any type of co-insurance, you're just paying co-pays. So it makes it really hard to even meet that $4,000 deductible. But again, it's $1,600 an employee. So that's what we got back from the market. Again, I apologize that it's incomplete. I wish I had those hard numbers. I tried to get them to get it to us, but they promised me they would have them in the morning. So worst case scenario, we have to move to Angle. Angle again is kind of a setup like we have now, where we have a TPA and then we have a network that we're using. Angle uses Cigna's PPO network, okay? So from an access standpoint, it's just like you have in a Cigna plan, because that's the network that the plan's renting. That's what the reimbursements are based off of, is that network. Does anybody have any questions? I'm sorry if I'm going over that fast or too fast.
I have a question for Sean.
Okay.
Do you have insurance, Sean?
I do.
I don't have obviously insurance here, but I mean, coverage wise, DOIBS, I mean, have you had any problems?
It's not been great,
Okay,
to say the least.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Can you give me some, cause I think I know what's going on, I just wanna hear what problem you have, that's all.
The doctor, I mean, when we signed up for all this, we said this doctor up here that I used was covered, and I can't get them to cover it. And other places I've been, just medicine wise, it was great.
Yeah.
But as far as the health insurance,
What, is it the, walking clinic
Ashburn.
up here? Is that a Southwell or
maybe,
Tiff
this
Regional?
is.
Southwood.
It's just been bought by Cordell.
Mm-mm.
Rachel.
No,
No, he's
Oh, okay.
talking about over there by
Oh, okay.
the ambulance
Ambulance.
station.
So, thank you for saying that. So here's what happened, okay? Last year, December, when we made a decision, when was our effective date, Tiff Regional was in First Health Network, okay? We found out about April that they decided to drop First Health Network. How I found out is because Ashley had an issue, they said, hey, you're not a network. We said, whoa, now, we're a network. They're even still showing up online as being a network. So we do a lot, our agency, I don't do it personally, but our agency does Tiff Regional's benefits. And so we were able to get to their contracting department and confirm, like, yeah, we dropped that in, I don't know, it was in the March or first of April. Because they were accessing it, I don't wanna get in the weeds, but they were accessing it through some old network and they didn't like the reimbursement, so they just said, without telling anybody, just drop it. I mean, even the.
They didn't tell their clients?
No, they tell the client, they tell the TPA, yeah, they don't, I mean, I guess they don't technically have to, but usually there's an announcement that gets put out. Usually, but we didn't know, and they didn't know that at the time, because if we would have known that, we certainly would have said, hey, let's go to First Health Network with one of the major hospitals this year, okay? But we have been working with them, I think we're about 30, 45 days, maybe 60 from getting something done. We have the First Health, actual contracting people at First Health have sent the contract over to Tiff Regional, but their contracting party is going through that, saying, no, we don't like this reimbursement, we like this, whatever it is, takes a little time. In the meantime, 90 Degrees has actually called Tiff Regional and talked to them. We got them in touch with a lady named Mary Yost, and they actually have she's not in the contracting department, but she's part of it. They're trying to get a direct contract with our plan and anybody that has 90 degrees, because we have about 800, it's not just y'all. We have this plan, I have the city of Fitzgerald with it, one of my counterparts has about 3 groups with it. There's about 700 lives in the 5-county area that's affected, okay? So they agreed that they would get a direct contract until they could work out the first health contract, okay? So that's what we're working on, one of those two things, but I hope by the 1st of January we have it, but at the very latest, I hope we can do it by middle of February. We're going to work something out, and I think, I almost know that's the problem you're having, because they're calling and they're saying we're not in First Health Network, and that's the network the plan is using.
Yeah.
Now, I do know this, sometimes your providers say, well, you don't have insurance, or we don't take this, whatever. They don't even take the time to call the number on the back of your card sometimes.
Well, I did that myself.
Did you?
Yeah.
You called
Mm-hmm.
to regional?
Well, I called the number on the back of the card
Right.
and tried to go through and tried to get it approved and couldn't get nowhere.
Who you talked to
Whoever the number was on the back, I can't tell you now the name of the person, but I did call.
You called 90 degrees though?
The number on the back of the insurance
Okay.
card.
Okay. But anyway, that's what's going on, and I know that stinks, but I want a person to come and tell y'all, and give y'all the full purview of what went on, and we just didn't know, it just something happened in the middle of the year, and we're trying to get it fixed. Cause like I said, y'all are not the only ones that it's affecting.
Okay, so until we get it fixed, he's out of pocket that money.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go back.
All the stuff I've been through, I'm out of pocket.
Yeah, well, no, we can go back, I think we can go back and get them to readjust those claims.
Okay, if you can,
I
that'd be
mean,
great.
don't mark me on that, but we have a good enough relationship, and when we call and get a hold of 90 degrees, we're actually talking I can get to the head of claims, and they know about this, they're helping us trying to get this resolved, so I feel pretty confident that if we can go back I think we can go back and agree on the reimbursements, we can go back and get that, because we're only talking about to last March or April or so, okay? So I think we can, usually you have a year to submit a claim anyway.
Save your bill.
So save your bill. Hey, and here's what I'll say, the other thing, next time if you've got an issue, because let's say we get this fixed, you may have an issue too, because I mean, you have providers I've had providers call people and tell them they don't have insurance, and it's because they look at the logo on there, because we have some of these plans with 90 degrees. 90 degrees is just the TPA, they administrate the plan, right? We have some of them that we use, instead of using First Health, we use Cigna's network, okay? And they'll call Cigna and they'll say, well, you don't have coverage, when they really should be calling the TPA. So anytime you got a problem, if you'll let Bethany know, I mean, I'll give you my personal cell phone number, you call us and we'll call for you, and because that's what we're here for. We're not just here to, come tell y'all something, it's great, and then be out the window. So you always can call our office. And then that blue benefit guide that we gave y'all, it's got all of our numbers on the back. You can call Alyssa, you can call me, so anytime going forward, if you have issues, just let us know. We can't solve everything, but lots of times we can get the right parties together and we can fix it, because our business, this benefits business is not really even about service. I mean, yeah, you gotta come, you gotta make a relationship and all that. It's really about service. Who's
Do
gonna?
we know how many people are using the employee only versus employee and spouse and employee and children?
It's all employee only,
Everybody's employee only that we have.
everybody. If you'll get me those bills too,
Yeah, I'll get them.
you get them to Bethany or however you want to, or, I'll get them and I'll keep them.
The question that I would have would be, let's just say the council said, okay, if you come in and this is showing, damn, I lost my place.
Just sitting in the middle of the table.
I'm looking at percentages.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to find them right here. Thank you. Let's just say, all right, right now, the employees there with DIYBS, it's $609.93 per employee. Let's just say after they do this adjustment, okay, let's say it's $720 Well, the council votes for me to be able to approve that if it's within reason,
Right.
because we're gonna have to do that tonight,
Mm-hmm.
one way or another, to make a decision.
Right.
Because of some reason that this has to be taken care of before January 1.
Yeah.
Now, if DIYBS, let's say, don't get this fixed this next year, where we gonna be sitting then? Because we would be locked in to DIYBS,
Yeah, we're gonna have the same problems we're having now.
that's what I'm saying,
That's true, yeah, that's an honest answer.
and that's what I gotta look at.
Yeah.
Question. You're gonna have better numbers this time tomorrow?
Before. Yeah, I mean, like sometime before lunch is what I'm.
Mr. Mayor, why don't we have a 5-minute meeting before we leave Thursday? We'll be here anyway.
And then Courtney can come eat with us.
Why not?
Yeah, that's fine.
Hey, AC please.
So Courtney,
Hey, I'm
We can meet
gonna
right
say,
now. We can meet right
free,
now.
no free food, I tell you that.
okay, so I have a question. I'm looking at this from our standpoint,
Mhm.
but also from an employee standpoint.
Right.
I mean, looking at the cost per employee,
Mhm.
yes, their deductible's a little bit higher with that 2,000 annual plan.
Right.
But their copays are a little bit less.
Yeah.
Their, it looks to me like their cost
Out
for
of pocket's just a little more.
out of pockets,
Yeah.
like emergency rooms, 250 after deductible.
Mhm.
And versus like, say, outpatient services is 250 after deductible versus 20%. That could be a significant amount to the employee, right?
Well, that's actually a little less of a benefit. Jennifer,
Okay.
Because the DLIBS is, you pay your deductible, then you start into your 20% co-insurance, okay?
Okay,
Under Angle, you gotta pay the deductible, all right, and then you gotta pay that, you got 20% there too, then you gotta pay another 250. So it's a little bit less,
okay,
okay?
okay,
So that 250 after deductible, but you still, so that 250 is in addition to your deductible or your co-insurance.
okay,
I mean, not a ton, because here's the thing about co-pays and the insurance, your co-pays actually go towards your out-of-pocket maximum. Used to, they didn't, you just paid and the insurance company collected it and sent their part to the doctor. But now, that 250 or 20 or whatever it is, that's actually going towards that 4,000.
alright, so let's say here in this situation that we don't factor in, the council doesn't factor in, like, you're just, if you're sitting here talking to, somebody who says, hey, Courtney, my company is presenting me with these plans, which one would you go with?
If you take
If
the,
you're an employee
if
only,
you take the deductible or the network problem off the table,
Well, we just not gonna have to take the network problem off the table, if y'all can't get the tip general. I mean, seriously.
let's just say, let's just say you take the network problem off the table,
Then just
I'd stay where you are. I'd stay with 90 degrees.
so they're not having any problems getting covered whenever they do have
Like,
coverage.
if you go to Chris Regional and use anybody that's there, they're in network.
Okay,
Every other hospital in the state's in network, it's just, Moultrie's in network, Phoebe's in network, Stilla Regional's in network, Island's in network, it's just every regional that's not in network. I mean, First Health was one of the original, they're not some fly-by-night network, they were one of the original PPO networks in the mid-90s when those things started. Remember, you had HMOs, and then you had fee-for-service. First Health was one of the original developers of this, so it's a good network, it's just,
gotcha.
some stuff that happened that we have just got thrown on us, I've been selling this
So he
product.
could go to Court Hill, and it would pay.
Correct.
If he had to.
They're in network with Chris Regional, it is just literally just TIF Regional that we're having to do this with. He's in network.
Is it till regional not wanting to accept what they're wanting to pay?
Well, I don't know the answer to that, Mayor. I don't know why they just decided arbitrarily to say, we're not taking this. they were accessing it through one of the original, like, they told us, they gave us the whole story, like, Southern Care was the original name of it, and the reimbursements were not as good, or what they wanted, so they said, we're dropping it, so the actual, what's been sent to them is First Help's, you know, as of today's contract, okay, so I just being in this, I guess I've been in this 15 years now, I don't foresee them not working out something. I know that's taking a chance, but I don't see them not working out something. I think they just said, oh, we're dropping this, and then now that they know that we need them because we do their benefits, and we sent them, we got groups, and I think we counted up, we got 700 lives just in this area. Because they asked us for that information, well, how many groups is this affecting, how many lives are that affecting, so I just don't see them not working out something, and again, the backup plan is 90 Degrees has already called them and said, look, can we do a direct contract with y'all? So when people come in with this plan with First Help, can we just do a direct contract? So I think one of the two things is going to get done. But if it doesn't, we are going to be having what we have this year. That is the chance that we would take.
Well, I was looking at the difference between the angle and the DYBS or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's 90 Degrees.
And you're looking at
They're actually rebranded.
$273 per employee.
Yeah, difference.
Yeah.
Like I said,
That's a
200.
big jump.
yeah. But just if they keep going to tip general, anything under tip general, they can go under Cordell, and we'll still keep the same numbers.
Yeah, and two, you gotta remember too, when we
How
took
much of
over.
this are we passing on to the employees though? None of it. Okay.
So if y'all remember too, we saved a bunch.
Not as of right now.
I don't know what, I
Okay,
can't remember, I
that's-
have to dig those, I got them right here, but I was like
But
1,000
it's
employee,
coming.
which is like, I don't remember.
Quick. Do what? Oh.
Just thinking out loud.
All right.
For what it's worth,
You're in top.
think of it, somebody give me a list of 3 things, the price of which has gone down in the last year.
Correct. I mean,
My pocketbook.
Yeah.
That's just
Okay.
one
The
thing.
amount of groceries I get when I go to the grocery
Ain't
store,
that interesting?
and not in a good way.
What we will do then is we will wait on those numbers. I'll submit them to the council when we get them in. And we'll take for 5 minutes or so and meet there in the office. And we will adopt this or whatever at a little mini call conference or something.
Just, yeah.
You know what I'm saying, don't you, Ben?
Ben's gonna be here anyway.
Yeah.
And
Get there 5 minutes early.
I'll,
That way we can make a more objective,
By the way, superintendent of elections is gonna be my +1.
I just make everything.
yeah, you said, what time y'all, I guess it's
6
12,
o'clock this Thursday.
6 o'clock P.M.
This
this
Thursday,
Thursday.
right here where you're standing.
Okay, yeah, that'd be fine, yeah, so not during the middle of the day,
No,
6 o'clock, okay,
6
Where are
o'clock.
you eating pants?
yeah, huh?
Where are you eating
All right,
pants?
I will, I got big ones.
We have the fire department and some guests and all that in, and we just come together for Christmas.
When y'all said, I didn't know if y'all meant lunch or whatever, so, but it wouldn't matter, I'm gonna be at Carol's anyway, so it doesn't matter, I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find what y'all went from last year, but it was about 1,000 employees, so we got, so. Again, I appreciate y'all's time, and it was not our intention to make you any grief, we literally did not know that they were not a network until, the middle of the year, and we've been working on it ever since. And
Soon
I
as
shouldn't
you-
say this, but Southwell does not move fast on anything.
nobody does, not when it comes to
As
legal stuff.
soon as you get those figures sent on to Bethany,
Mm-hmm.
and Bethany will inform me, and that way,
Then y'all know.
I'll look at them.
And then if I want
then
Thursday,
I'll get a
if we
copy.
need to talk a little more Thursday.
Give
we
one
can
to
do that.
council. Give a copy to the council.
Then I presume this is tabled until the call
Yes.
meeting Thursday?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, Courtney.
Thank y'all so much for your time. Yes, sir. See y'all.
Thank you.
Send those bills, okay?
All right.
We'll work on them.
Tell Annie I said hey.
I'll do it. All right. Y'all have a good
All
night.
right, item 6, discuss and vote on adopting 2023 monthly meeting resolutions. I gave them to Golf a while ago, he looked them over. That's just giving me permission to sign off on it.
You want us to go ahead and sign them?
Yeah, please,
Sign off on what?
These.
the resolutions that we have to do of every meeting,
Are we just gonna add resolutions to every, agenda?
yes,
Okay.
we have to.
It's not a bad idea to document things.
According to the law, we have to.
Oh, there's that.
Now, I'll move on to item 7 to keep this train going. Discuss and vote on SPOS renewal, this one reason to change time. Let me reiterate to each councilman, and I've talked to some of y'all. We have been fighting. Now, it's my understanding all along, all these years, that if municipalities couldn't agree and one did not sign off on it, it disappeared for everybody. That was my understanding of how the process
That was
worked.
everybody's understanding, Mr. Mayor.
Now, I have thus learned that this is not the case. If the city and the counties vote on, in other words, voters, they vote to renew the SPOS, then if Sycamore does not sign off on it, then Sycamore and Rebecca lose what they got. That money thus would go into a fund to where they can do tier 1 projects, such as infrastructure or building a place like they've been talking about wanting to build a health department. That money can go toward that, Sycamore and Rebecca's part.
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What were the county commissioners even negotiating about?
They were
If
divided up the
if they do not need our compliance, what are they negotiating about?
Let me tell you what the old figures was and tell you what the new ones are. You got a point about what you say. I concur with you. The county, under the last SPOS, was getting 42%. Ashland, 37%. Sycamore, 5%. Rebecca, 5%. Under the new proposal, and I went to the SPOS meeting last, was it Monday night, Ben? Thursday. Yeah, like Thursday night. And as soon as I got off that bus, I went there. Under the new one that they are proposing, the county would get 51%. Ashburn will stay at 37%, where they were. Rebecca would get 5%, Sycamore would get 7%. Nick Dunham, who is our representative down here, and I wanna make sure that y'all know it, he was fighting for 8% for Sycamore.
What was he fighting? I'm sorry, what was he fighting for? He's
Yeah.
fighting for nothing.
To get Sycamore 8%. They wouldn't, none of them go with the 10%.
Why would they?
They wouldn't go with the 9%.
If we have no mechanism of compulsion, why would they?
Now, but I I was there when the vote and everything took place, Nick Denham did, he proposed 8%. The motion was finally made on the 7%, which that came from Brad Kelly, that motion, and it was seconded by Mr. Burgess. But the comment was made in there by Mr. Burgess that he didn't care about Sycamore yet anyway. You know, but anyway, that's beside the point. Anyhow, 7% is what they have stuck us with. Now, the good news, if we decide to sign on, the good news on it is that under the old figures, we were generating around, on 5%, generating around $3,500 a month. If you break that down, that would be like $700 per percentage, okay? The money that is filtered in off SPLOST has went up instead of going down, which means that if we accepted the 7%, instead of it being like $1,400 more than what we were getting per month, we would be getting a little bit more than that with money that's in there.
Mr. Mayor, less robbery is still robbery.
I agree, but they cut, let me tell you this, they cut every dime out of the Economic Development Authority, which was raised to shaft us last time, up from 5% to 10%. They cut the whole 10% from the Economic Development Authority, and that's how they're able to raise their part up from 42 to 51.
Basically what
That's
it
a
was,
heck of a jump, but they can't raise us to at least
What we
8
were
or
getting.
9%.
so basically what it
No,
amounts
we're
to.
getting, they're offering us more, 2%
Then-
more than. what
Right, but we
got.
lost that, didn't we, last year?
Oh, no, we've been
Okay.
at 5%. longer
Okay.
than that all this time.
Okay,
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
so basically what it amounts to, the county couldn't possibly care much less about Sycamore, and we can trust them not to give us a fair deal.
well, we haven't seen the actual printed out worded contract yet. And that's why I'm not gonna push this council to make any decision. I do know that it's coming up, and a decision's gonna have to be made one way or the other.
I say take the 7%.
don't we have to
I mean,
vote before the end of
Yeah,
the
we
year?
got to do it before the end of the year, unless you're gonna have the meeting, the 5-minute meeting in there. I say,
Mayor.
take 7%.
May I say something?
Sure.
Ben, listen real close. My constituency in this city may suffer the depredation of a thief. I will not put a knife in the thief's hand. Quote, unquote.
Well, here's my deal. Look at the numbers you just gave us,
Mhm.
and then you make the statement that they didn't think nothing about the city of Sycamore, right?
That's right.
Okay. They upped ours to 7. They didn't up the city of Ashburn, and they didn't up Rebecca. So apparently they thought 2% of Sycamore.
I
That's
reiterate
about 2%
my
is about what they
statement
think.
against
Well,
Sycamore concerning less thievery.
My deal is, the 7% is better than 5%. It ain't 10%, but it's 7%. If they're controlling the money, then accept the 7%. I mean, Are you gonna try to fight for 10 and lose all?
Yes.
Is it an all-in game?
First of all, we weren't lobbying for 10, we were lobbying for 9, which is a reflection of the percentage of population of this county that this city has.
Well, if 7 closer to 9 than 5 is,
Next year they can lower it to 1.
what?
And if we have no mechanism of compulsion, I refuse to accept that on principle.
I understand the principle,
I can get the council on.
but I would take the 7% because that's 2% more than what we got now.
That's 2% less than we should legally and rightfully have.
Are we generating that percentage in this town? I know that we all spend money in this county. That's true.
Yeah, that's true, and we can stop.
Okay. But I mean, you know, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, I'm just saying that it's on the table for 7, and I just,
No, sir, I can't do it,
you know.
and I understand.
And then making a statement that they don't care about Sycamore, and they
And I
care.
stand by it.
And also bear in mind, we were at 7 before we got lowered to 5.
Okay. Then at least we might be on the way up instead of going down further. I mean, I understand both sides of the argument, don't get me wrong, I understand the numbers, you know. Everybody knows I'm a number, and I understand the numbers. But I also don't wanna lose this whole spot law stuff for 10 years, or ever how long it is. I mean, you wanna lose $4,500 for 10 years?
It's 6 years.
What, 6 years? You know,
Now,
you're
I
looking at,
agree
it's
that-
like you wanna lose $50,000 for 6 years?
May I speak?
Please.
I agree that the 7% is a 2% increase, and I appreciate that it is an increase. However, it was done in such a way, to make sure that Sycamore is controlled by the county.
Yep.
It's not supposed to be controlled by the county.
Here, here.
We are not subjects, we are citizens. And Ben, please quote that.
I'll tell you what I am gonna push the council to do right now. This has to be decided, you're right, by the last of December. Am I right, correct, man?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Alright. Let me do some more checking and homework and some talking. And let's just have a call meeting in a couple of weeks.
Well, we've got one on Thursday anyway. We may be able to determine something by then, maybe.
One thing I wanna know, every man, woman, child, dog, duck, fish, goat, and camel believed that every municipality had to sign off on this, because there's lots of documentation we've received to that effect. If the municipalities have no control over this, I want that to become part of the record. Because why are we wasting our time on this?
Yeah.
If our negotiations mean nothing,
Why negotiate?
exactly.
Evidently, loss didn't mean nothing, cause we didn't sign off on it.
You don't negotiate with a house fire. You either put it out or you let it burn.
That's a lot of money.
Yes, it is. You're absolutely right. And my principle
I mean, I
is worth something.
understand that, I understand that completely. That's just like the way that I stood on the wording of another contract that we had, from the handshake something to me.
Mr. Mayor, move the table until Thursday?
Okay, so call. Everybody in favor?
Yep.
Got one against tabling till Thursday, you against?
No, he's stuck his hand up, I saw that. Peripheral vision
Councilman
gone.
Coker against tabling till Thursday, so carried. Alright. item 8, discuss and vote on drainage problems with CDBG projects.
I vote in favor of drainage.
Well, the drainage on the Craig Myrtle out there, at Trailer Park, is where it's ended up, that the pump station needs to be addressed. Working with the engineer, we asked for this to be put on here tonight. We don't have all the answers yet, so we may not be able to discuss it fully tonight. We can discuss it, but we may not have all the answers we need tonight to make a decision on it.
They go till Thursday.
They go
It's gonna be
Thursday
a
or
15-minute
later,
meeting now.
Thursday's gonna be a long meeting now. Sean, can I throw this in?
yes, you can.
Sean took me out there and showed me the thing. Basically, the drainage, the sheet drainage from the whole, Norway subdivision per se, is going down one particular spot, which is piped and rip-wrapped in place. And then it goes down a swale, a shallow ditch, right next to the power pole. I mean, literally up against the power pole, which is pretty obviously not going to work. Sean has already contacted, what's his name,
Engineer.
Stephen,
Stephen.
with Carter and Sloop to address this, and, we've come up with several possible solutions. Carter and Sloop has yet to get back with whose responsibility it is, but it is physically going to require some changes, because as it is now, it is unsafe and not workable, not acceptable, period. But it is per design. The power pole is placed where the Carter and Sloop and Georgia Power engineers agreed that it should be placed. The drainage happens to be in the same place, and that is the problem.
And as problems go, that's a big one.
It has the possibility, the potential to be a very big one. Fortunately, Sean spotted it and brought it to everybody's attention in time that it can be fixed, but it's gonna be a while before we know who's gonna pay and exactly what the fix will have to be. One of the details is to contact the owner of the adjacent property that, one probable solution is to put the drainage to a different point and the swale, the drainage swale, going through a good distance from the pole, no danger.
Question.
But it will be partially on, the property that belongs not to the city, but to an individual, whoever it is that owns that property.
Okay.
Sean is researching to find that now.
You appreciate, I'm sure, that we're looking at significant liability if we own that road system and drainage system and it's draining on private property.
That's why we've got to contact the property, the adjacent property owner. We don't know yet.
Yeah, we do.
We don't know, first off, who it is, let alone how cooperative they may or may not be. Now, hydrologically speaking, the drainage has been onto that back property, at all times. That is not changing. We're simply concentrating part of that drainage to be one place, and that's where we've got to fix it right.
The change is, it's an operation we're funding.
It's what?
It's an operation we're funding.
Yep.
That's the difference.
Part of the problem is the engineer put the two things that don't belong together in the same place.
And I say that the engineer ought to have to fix it.
It has to be fixed, just the method and the, financial responsibility has yet to be determined. And I think Sean wanted everybody to know what's going on.
Sean, just so we know, how much standing water are we talking about?
It's hard to say until we get,
Is it deep enough to drown?
no, it's not deep enough to drown, but it could be a issue with where it's gonna come across with the pump station and the pole right there. It just needs to be fixed. It'll
6
be
months
a-
from now, is it gonna be a mosquito factory?
It's gonna be an issue, yes.
Shouldn't be. It's still got, slope and reasonable sheet drainage in that area.
Has some decision gotta be made?
Not
Not
no.
today.
Good, because let's table this issue,
Okay.
Thursday.
not on Thursday.
To a later date.
I'm astounded the water runs downhill.
Let me make a phone call to the engineer,
Okay.
not the
Make it
engineer,
real.
engineer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got,
Call him we'll be here Thursday.
Don't them through me in the loop this Thursday, John.
Bring up the, bid opening here.
okay, we will be having a bid.
Are we on item number
opening
9 now?
for-
Not yet.
Okay.
Not for the CDBG, but for the EDA project for the sewer ponds, January 3rd. There'll be a bid opening, or maybe not bid opening, but to get started with it.
Alright. Then can we move?
Yeah.
Item 9. Alright, discuss and vote on adopting the 2022-2024 ARPA budget. And I know that y'all wondering what the heck that is. What that is we had applied,
Sorry, can I clarify? It's the 2022 to 24 budget?
in 2021, we applied for American Rescue Plan.
COVID money.
Okay.
And, the
Clarifying, it's
city,
the end of 2023 and we're discussing the 2022, but I got, alright, I'm good.
the city
Thursday coming up.
had it split between 2 years. We have to present a budget. I've got the budget right here. It's typed up. Cause we done, one of the things you done with the American Rescue Plan was incentive bonuses for employees that was working during COVID era. We done 2 rounds of them. During those years. And, we also could purchase stuff that would contribute to health through the water department or the street department.
Yeah. The
And we
excavator.
purchased an excavator. We ended up paying $69,481 on the excavator. That was in 2021. And on the second round, we paid $101,033 on the excavator. Now, that's gonna leave us a remainder in 2024 of $22,948. And we had that on a lease purchase option, so it ain't gonna be no big deal, but we have to submit a budget on this American Rescue Plan budget. You wanna see it?
Please.
There you go, it's there.
So we've got nearly $23,000
Right,
to propose.
right.
Do we have to name what we're gonna use it for?
No, it's already named on the excavator.
Move to
Well, I
approve.
meant the 22,000,
Huh?
the 22,900.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Move to approve.
Second?
Okay, we got a motion and a second, all in favor? All opposed? Nobody's opposed, okay?
Wait till Thursday.
So adopted. Alright. Department heads, ain't but one here. Sean, you got anything else?
No, that was all I needed to do.
Alright, public input? Nothing?
One thing,
Go ahead.
given, our expanding and mutating agenda for our call meeting on Thursday, what time should I be here? Midnight Wednesday?
That's gonna be right after he makes the phone
What time do you wanna do that?
Engineer department.
You wanna do 5:30? Can you be here at 5:30?
I'm trying to keep from saying something, cause I don't want you to look at the paper. Okay.
You think we can do that in 15 minutes?
Yeah.
That's it.
I'll have the information that I need by then as far as supplies. As a matter of fact, y'all sent me dialing council a while ago. I was trying to get him on the phone, but it went straight to voicemail, so I didn't get him. But, anyhow, I'll be talking to him about it. And I'll know a lot more.
Move to pay bills.
Second.
We got a motion, we got a second, all in favor?
Move to home cry.
Second.
Alright, all in favor?
So,
We are.
Be back Thursday.
I do not